Da 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 da. Hey, well, I'm a friend, the stranger in the backseat. I want you home inside my car. I need you, love you. I need you, love you. Great God in heaven, you know I love you. Da 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 da. Cut. Just kidding. Let's get back to learn to Rama. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my video. Today is Friday, the 19th of March 2021. My name is Dan Kital from Thailand. In this video, I like to talk about the true Dhamma or Nirvana for only people who have the most wisdom. If you are a real person who want to attain Nirvana in this life, you have to listen to me early, because I have attained Nirvana for 19 years. I'm ready to help everyone on this earth attain Nirvana in this life as well. I'm ready, but are you ready? It's up to you. The topic to speak in this video is the meaning of the language obstruct to attain Nirvana. In this video, I like to break down the story in this talk into 2 episodes. The first episode, the meaning of the language obstruct to attain Nirvana. Second episode, please believe temporarily that the meaning of language is true. Okay. You know, the true Dhamma in Buddhism is not possible to teach each other, because there is nothing to teach. This is the reason that I have to borrow the fictional language to create content and story to talk to you further understanding about the flavors, idea, or thought process. Because the idea is the heart of quenching of all suffering. You know, I'm Thai. My English is still the basic level. I speak English with Thai accent. If I pronounce incorrectly and the sentence I use in English may not correct for English grammar, I have to apologize. You know, the hardest thing for me is how to create content and story about the true Dhamma in English, because I need the meaning in English to be as close to Thai language as much as possible. That for create content and story about the true Dhamma in English to talk to you further understanding about the flavors, idea, or thought process. Because the idea is the heart of quenching of all suffering. If you want to overcome anger, overcome suffering, overcome depression and anxiety, you have to listen to me early, because I have attained Nirvana for 19 years. I'm ready to help everyone on this earth attain Nirvana in this life as well. I'm ready, but are you ready? It's up to you. You know, let's take a look at this chart. There are a lot of people who lack wisdom in this world, which want to letting go suffering and live happily forever. It is impossible, because our true self does not really exist. And there are many foolish people on this planet who believe that this is our true self. Those who will understand this story, it must be counted individually. That how many people in this world, and no one can help anyone from suffering. We have to help ourselves only. How to help ourselves from suffering? You must realize your thought early. Please keep in mind. And asking and answering Dhamma problem or life problem in Dhamma conversation cannot solve the doubt until you can realize your thought. This is the best way. Please keep in mind. And you know, the pronunciation in every word on this world, we cannot use the alphabet to replace because the meaning of the fictional language does not really exist. Again, the pronunciation in every word on this world, we cannot use the alphabet to replace because the meaning of the fictional language doesn't really exist. And you know, the Lord Buddha taught people to attain Nirvana in this life. It means when we die and not to be born anymore until you can realize your thought. That means you have mindfulness and wisdom to avoid suffering. Okay. From now on, let's take a look on this screen. The story in this talk, I said, the meaning of the language obstruct to attain Nirvana. Let's take a look on this screen. From now on, please listen meticulously to the explanation for understanding. The following story I will say, I have to borrow the meaning of the fictional language to say, in reality, the meaning of the fictional language, it doesn't really exist. The following story I will say, I have to borrow the meaning of the fictional language to say, in reality, the meaning of the fictional language, it doesn't really exist too. But in this talk, please believe temporarily it's true that further understanding each other in order to not have to understand each other anymore, because the meaning of understanding it doesn't really exist. Again, but in this talk, please believe temporarily it's true that further understanding each other in order to not have to understand each other anymore, because the meaning of understanding it doesn't really exist. Okay. What you see over here from birth to death, you see and hear the way you are. It's an act you see over here. When you see over here, you will interpret through something. When you see over here, you will interpret to something within a fraction of a second. Can you realize your thought? When you see over here, you will interpret to something within a fraction of a second. Can you realize your thought? There will be the meaning of something in your thought. There will be the meaning of something in your thought. Can you realize your thought? There will be the meaning of something in your thought which doesn't have fictional language to say. There will be the meaning of something in your thought which doesn't have fictional language to say. But you can understand by yourself. But you can understand by yourself. From now on, I like to talk about what you see over here now. For example, For example, if someone asks if someone asks you, what do you see? You will answer. Follow me, please. Aha. Meow, 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 meow. From now on, I like to talk about what you see, what you see now. For example, I show you for learning. If someone asks you, what do you see? You will answer that. I see a cat. If someone asks you, what do you see? You will answer that. I see a cat. Let me explain. As soon as you hear someone ask, as soon as you hear someone ask, what do you see? If someone asks you, what do you see? If someone asks you, what do you see? You will answer that I see a cat. Let me explain. As soon as you hear someone ask, what do you see? You can understand. You can understand the meaning of what do you see. And then you answer that I see a cat. You know. Do you know? You can understand the meaning of sentence, what did you see? Because you were taught to believe in the meaning of fictional language, and then you answer that I see a cat. I see a cat. In reality, what you see or hear now from birth to death is nature is aware of nature, nothing more to say than this, because there is nothing to teach. In reality, what you see or hear from birth to death is nature is aware of nature, nothing more to say than this, because there is nothing to teach. Okay. And the most important is every word or sentence in this chart. And the most important is every word or sentence in this chart or in this screen. And the most important is every word or sentence in this screen. And the most important is every word or sentence on this screen. It doesn't mean anything, and it is not anything. And the most important is every word or sentence in this screen. It doesn't mean anything, and it is not anything. And it is not about my speed. And it is not about my speed, because I use the meaning of the fictional language to talk to you. Don't mean to teach you. And it is not about my speed. And it is not about my speech, because I use the meaning of the fictional language to talk to you. Don't mean to teach you. If you can understand the story about what you see now, then you can understand about what you hear now too, because they are in the same way. Okay. From now on, I like to talk about first episode, the meaning of the language obstruct to attain Nirvana. You know, due to the true Dhamma in Buddhism, it's not possible to teach each other because the true Dhamma is the pure repentance. It's universal truth. It doesn't have the fictional language to say. Dhamma or fruit or Nirvana is not in Prattai Pidok. It's not in the teaching of Monk Ronan, but it's in your thought. It's in my thought. You know, until you can realize your thought, 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 nothing more to say than this. The true Dhamma in Buddhism is suitable for only people who have the most wisdom and want to attain Nirvana in this life. If you want to overcome anger, overcome suffering, overcome depression and anxiety, you must realize your thought. This is the best way to end all suffering. You know, the topic to speak in this video, I say, the meaning of the language obstruct to attain Nirvana. The meaning of the language obstruct to end all suffering too. The meaning of the language obstruct to attain Nirvana. The meaning of the language obstruct to end of all suffering too. Can you understand me? Until you can realize your thought, this is the best way to end of all suffering in this world. Nothing more to say than this. Can you understand me? The true Dhamma in Buddhism is not possible to teach each other. This is the reason that I have to borrow the fictional language to create content and story to talk to you for understanding about the various idea or thought process. I say the meaning of the language obstruct to attain Nirvana and obstruct to end of all suffering, because the meaning of the language is just a fictional language. You know, the language we use in everyday life, whether spoken language and written language, it's just a fictional language. It doesn't really exist. The language was created by humans on this earth for communication, understanding temporarily. Where can I find the meaning of the language? It's just a thought. It's in your thought. It's in my thought. Can you understand it? Where can I find the meaning of language? This is the reason that I have to borrow the fictional language. I say fictional language. It doesn't mean really a language. I say the language we use in everyday life is just the fictional language. It doesn't mean really a language. We use the language from birth to death until we believe it's true. Where can I find the meaning of the language? The meaning of the language cannot describe everything in your thought. The meaning of the language cannot describe what you see or hear. The meaning of the language cannot describe what you see or hear. Can you understand me? As I said, the meaning of the language obstruct to attain Nirvana. The meaning of the language obstruct to end of all suffering. Can you understand me? We cannot teach each other to end of all suffering. We cannot teach each other to attain Nirvana because the meaning of the language does not really exist. Can you understand me? The meaning of the language does not really exist. first episode. I say the meaning of the language obstruct to attain Nirvana. If you want to overcome anger, overcome suffering, overcome depression and anxiety, the best way is you must realize your thought. 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 I say the meaning of the language obstruct to attain Nirvana because the meaning of the language is just a thought. Where can I find the meaning of the language? Where can I find? It's in your thought. It's in my thought. You know, nowadays, when we use the language for communication, each other, do we really understand each other? If we want to prove that, we have to think and think and think over and over again until we die from this world. Because the meaning of the language does not really exist. The first episode, I say, the meaning of the language obstruct to attain Nirvana and obstruct to end of all suffering too. The best way is you must realize your thought. Can you understand me? The best way is you must realize your thought. The meaning of the language obstruct to attain Nirvana because the meaning of the language does not really exist. We cannot use the meaning of the language to teach each other, to end all suffering, to attain Nirvana, because the meaning of the language does not really exist. Can you understand me? You know, those who can talk about this story, there is only พระอรหันต์ Those who can talk about this story, there is only พระอรหันต์ In Thailand, you can call me พระอรหันต์ In Thailand, you can call me พระอรหันต์ The word พระอรหันต์ means people who can attain Nirvana in this life. Now, I have attained Nirvana for 19 years. I'm ready to help everyone on this earth to attain Nirvana in this life as well. I'm ready. But are you ready? It's up to you. Can you understand me? As I told you, this is the reason that I have to borrow the fictional language to create content and story to talk to you further understanding about the various idea or thought process. You know, let's take a look on this screen. On this screen. Before that, I explain the story on this screen. You know, in reality, the story in this screen does not really exist too, but you have to believe temporarily. The story in this screen is really that for understanding each other, not have to understand each other anymore. I say this, that is sound strange. You know, if you can't understand in this talk, if you can't understand me, the story or content on the screen is such a fictional language. It's word created by fictional language. If I say, from now on, please listen meticulously to the explanation for understanding. I say the meaning of the language obstruct. If I say the meaning of the language obstruct to attain Nirvana, I say when I say the meaning of the language obstruct to attain Nirvana, it means spoken language. But what you see now, written language. The sentence, the meaning of the language obstruct to attain Nirvana. This sentence is just a fictional language. If I say, the meaning of the language obstruct to attain Nirvana, we call spoken language. But what you see now is written language. Spoken language translated into written language. You know, the meaning of spoken language and written language does not really exist. When you listen to me, please believe temporarily. The meaning in this screen is true, that first understanding each other in order to not have to understand each other anymore. Can you understand me? I say this, that is our trend. Okay. You know, in this video, I don't say anything. I don't say anything because the meaning of the language does not really exist. Can you understand me? I don't say anything in this video because the meaning of the fictional language does not really exist. The meaning of the fictional language, it has no meaning as we understand it. The meaning of the fictional language, it has no meaning as you understand it. Can you understand me? But the story on this screen, let's take a look. Please believe it's true temporarily, that first understanding each other in order to not have to understand each other anymore because the meaning of understanding does not really exist. You know, I say this, that is sound strange. I said it, that is sound strange. I say, the story on the screen, please believe it's true temporarily, that first understanding each other in order to not have to understand each other anymore because the meaning of understanding does not really exist. And the meaning of the language does not really exist. I say this, that is sound strange. Can you understand me? If you want to overcome anger, overcome suffering, overcome depression and anxiety, you must try to understand every story I convey in this video. Can you understand me? The story in this talk is suitable for only people who want to attain this life. As I said, the meaning of the fictional language, obstruct to attain Nirvana and obstruct to end of all suffering. But there is the best way. To end of all suffering and to attain Nirvana. The best way is you must realize your thought. The best way is you must realize your thought. Nothing more to say than this. Nothing more to study than this. The true Dhamma in Buddhism, we study only the subject of the mind. We did not study about the human existence. As I said, no one suffers, no one is happy. Can you understand me? Everything is caused by the thought. Everything is caused by the thought. As I told you, you must realize your thought. This is the best way to attain Nirvana. And this is the best way to end all suffering in this life. In this video, I say, I don't say anything. I don't teach you anything. But every Dhamma teacher on this planet will teach you to believe every story they convey. And you will believe it. I'm different from the other. Can you stand me? Okay. From now on, I have something to show you. Okay. You know, The following story can help you to understand nature is aware of nature. The following story can help you to understand about nature is aware of nature. I have something to show you. You know, from birth to death. You know, from birth to death. From birth to death. You know, from birth to death. I have something to show you from birth to death. There is only 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 and from birth to death. There is only you know, all action that I show you, I want you to understand about nature is aware of nature. It doesn't mean there is something or there is nothing. All action that I show you, I want you to understand about nature is aware of nature. It doesn't mean there is something or there is nothing. You know, in this video, if you consider along as I said over and over again, until it goes deep into your heart, then you will understand it. And finally, you will have opportunity to attain Nirvana this life. As I told you, I said, the meaning of the fictional language does not really exist. The meaning of the fictional language does not really exist. The language we use in this video, is just the fictional language too. From now on, I like to talk about nature is aware of nature. Nature is aware of nature. It's not about there is something or there is nothing. I like to talk about nature is aware of nature. It's not about there is something or there is nothing. Okay. from birth to death there is only 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 you know all action that I show you can you understand me all action that I show you can you understand me in this video I say in this video I say in this video I say the meaning of the language is does not really exist we cannot use the meaning of the language to describe the thought process. We cannot use the meaning of the fictional language to describe everything in your thought until you can realize your thought. Until you can realize your thought. Until you can realize your thoughts. This is the best way to attain Nirvana. This is right. This is the best way to end false suffering. From now on, please listen meticulously to the explanation for understanding. I say in this video, I say the meaning of the fictional language is does not really exist. But I use the language to talk to you for understanding about the various ideal or thought process. But I use the meaning of the fictional language to talk to you for understanding about the various ideal or thought process. You must believe temporarily that the meaning of the fictional language is really that further understanding each other in this video in order to not have to understand each other anymore because the meaning of the language is does not really exist and the meaning of understanding is does not really exist too. Can you understand me? I say this, that is sound strange. Can you understand me? People who can talk about this story, there is only พระอรหันต์ People who can talk about this story, there is only พระอรหันต์ Now, I want to say, all action that I show you, everything in this talk, everything I convey in this video, is not about. It's not about nature is aware of nature. It's not about there is nothing or there is something or there is nothing. And I want to say, finally, I want to say, I don't teach you anything. I don't say anything in this video. I don't say anything in this video. I have never used the language to talk to you. I have never used the language to talk to you in this video. I say this, that it sounds strange. Can you stand me? At first, I say, nature is aware of nature. It's not about there is nothing. It's not about there is something or there is nothing. At first, I say nature aware of nature is not about there is something or there is nothing. But now, I have to borrow the fictional language. I have to borrow the fictional language. I have to borrow the fictional language to talk to you. I don't teach you anything. And I don't say anything. And I don't say anything in this video. Because the meaning of the fictional language does not really exist. In reality, I have something to show you for your understanding in this video. You know, I show you. As soon as you see this word, which was that a cat, you interpret into what you see now. What you see now. But as soon as you see, I say, you see in the way you see. As soon as you hear, meow, 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 you hear in the way you hear. At first, I say, as soon as you see this word, which shows that a cat, you interpret into, there will be an image like this in your thought. Can you realize? Can you realize your thought? But as soon as you see in the way you see, it doesn't have the word. Can you understand me? And as soon as you see this sentence, you can't understand in the meaning of, because you think according to the meaning of the language, because you think according to the meaning of written language. You can't understand in the meaning of I love you, because you think according to the meaning of the fictional language, think according to the meaning of written language. I say I love you. This is spoken language. Become written language. You know. I say I love you. Spoken language. And what you see now is written language. Yeah. We believe that it has the same meaning. Can you understand me? But in reality, I say I love you. It doesn't mean this sentence. Can you understand me? Because you were taught to believe in the meaning of I love you. You can't understand in the meaning of I love you, because you were taught to believe in the meaning of I love you. But in reality, the meaning of I love you is just a thought. It's nature, it's aware of nature. Can you understand me? Okay. From now on, I like to talk about second episode. The second episode, please believe temporarily that the meaning of language is true. Okay. You know. The first episode, I say the meaning of the language obstruct to attain Nirvana. And now, second episode, I say, please believe temporarily that the meaning of language is true. Oh, why did I say that? You know. The hardest thing for me is how to create content and story about the true Dhamma in English to talk to you, further understanding about the various idea or thought process. Nothing more to study than this. Nothing more to study than this. Until you can realize your thought. Now, I say, please believe temporarily that the meaning of the language is true. You know, at first, I say, nature is aware of nature. It's not about there is something or there is nothing. And then I say, I don't teach you anything and I don't say anything in this video. I don't teach you anything and I don't say anything in this video. Can you understand me? I say this 30,000. I say, I have never say anything in this video. I have never say anything in this video. I say this 30,000. I say this 30,000. Okay. From now on, I like to talk about how to realize your thought. That further your understanding about the favorite idea or thought process. As I said, until you can realize your thought, until you can realize your thought, until you can realize your thought, this is the best way to avoid suffering. This is the best way to attain Nirvana in this life. Now, the second episode, I say, please believe temporarily that the meaning of language is true. Is true. Now I say, please believe temporarily that the meaning of language is true. But third episode, I say, the meaning of the language obstruct to attain Nirvana and obstruct to end of all suffering because the meaning of the language is not really exist. But now I say, please believe that. Please believe temporarily that the meaning of language is true. I said it 30,000. You know, from now on, I like to talk about how to realize your thought in everyday life. It's very simple. Until you can realize your thought. The story I will say the following. I have to borrow the fictional language to create content and story to talk to you further understanding about the idea. Further understanding about the thought process. Further understanding about the idea. Further understanding about the thought process. Okay, you know. The following example I will show you. Don't get bored of this example. The following example is very simple to understand and it's very simple to realize your thought. Please keep in mind. Okay. First example. As soon as you see this verse, which wrote that there will be an image like this in your thought. Can you realize your thought? But as soon as you see, it doesn't have this word. And as soon as you hear meow, 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 there will be in your thought. Can you realize? It's very simple. And as soon as you see this words which slow that explode, there will be an image like this in your thought. Can you realize? But as soon as you hear bah, bah, there will be an image in your thought. Can you realize? It's very simple to understand. It's very easy to realize. And as soon as you see this sentence which wrote that I love you, you think according to the meaning of written language. You interpret. You can understand in the meaning of I love you and you like it. And as soon as you see I hate you, you can understand in the meaning of I love you and you don't like it. I hate you, you don't like it. I hate you, I love you. Where can I find the meaning of I love you or I hate you? It's just a thought. You know. And if someone send you a message which wrote that there is one box on the table, there is one cat on the box, there is a water bottle placed behind the box, you know, follow me. If someone send you a message which wrote that there will be an image, there is one box on the table and there is a cat on the box and there is a bottle of water placed behind the box like this. The meaning of the language will lead to what you see now. And the meaning of a box will lead to the meaning of a cat will lead to meow meow, and the meaning of a bottle of water will lead to what you see now. In reality, now, when you really see, you see in the way you see. You see in the way you see. You never use the language say to yourself. Now I see a cat, a box, a bottle of water, you know. As I said, can you realize as your thought? Oh, you know. The true Dhamma in Buddhism is not possible to teach each other because there is nothing to teach. Because the true Dhamma in Buddhism is a pure limited. It's universal truth. It doesn't have the fictional language to say. It doesn't have the fictional language to say. The story in this talk is suitable for only people who have the most wisdom. Can you understand me? You know. Every story I convey in this video. Every story I convey in this video. Every story I convey in this video. Even the story on this screen the story on the screen. And every story I convey in this video, every speech, every of my speech, it does not really exist. It cannot describe what you see or hear now. I say this, that's what I'm saying. Every story I convey in this video, every story I convey in this video, and the story on this screen, even the language, even the meaning of the language we use in this video, it has no meaning as we understand it, and it does not really exist. Can you understand me? I say this, that is sounds strange. You know, before ending, I want to say, before ending, I want to say, the first sentence and second sentence, please believe it's true. Before ending, I want to say, the first sentence which wrote that the Lord Buddha taught people to attain Nirvana in this life. It means when we die and not to be born anymore. And second sentence, until you can realize your thought. You know, I want to say, before ending, the first sentence which wrote that the Lord Buddha taught people to attain Nirvana in this life. It means when we die and not to be born anymore. And second sentence, until you can realize your thought. Please believe temporarily. First sentence and second sentence is true. Please believe temporarily. First sentence and second sentence, they are true. They are really. Can you understand me? Okay.